Okay. Right.
Okay, so let's start it off.
Two. Welcome back to the Little Big Bro podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like and subscribe. Help us with the YouTube algorithms. And then if you can't watch us on YouTube, feel free to listen to us on all the podcast sections. So today's
And I'm Hector, and this is Leo.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, we're like 3-4 episodes in. They know our names, but yeah, I'm Leo.
All right, and we are at an exciting episode. This is only episode number 3, but it's really exciting. So I'm actually, if you can see, I'm actually ready for this episode. You'll see why in this episode.
That is that's awesome. I have a Spider-Man shirt on. I don't have any Avatar shirts with me.
You better go to Hot Topic.
Wait, actually I do, but you know, this past year, packing on a little bit of pounds. It's a medium shirt, so if I put a medium on, you know, half my stomach is just showing. So I'm running. Yeah, it's medium. So running. So I want to get back into that shirt. So those are the goals.
Goals, Avatar goals.
All
right.
Grenades high, Twinkle Toes!
That's perfect. Hashtag circle. All right. So this episode is this called the Southern Air Temple. So after Aang, Sokka, and Katara leave the South Pole, they start making their way towards the Southern Air Temple. And that's where we'll find out that's where Aang grew up. And we don't want to spoil anything, but he finds things out when he's there. They also make a new friend when they're there. And at the same time, parallel to their story, we catch up with Zuko dealing with the aftermath of his ship being in need of repair. And then you get to meet some other characters in the Fire Nation that you'll start to see that you like Zuko more than you like these characters.
Yeah, it's very exciting. This episode, like I said, even though it's just episode number 3, it's a lot of is like new characters that are brought in, and it just makes you. There's so many little things that happen in this episode that just make it so great.
Yeah.
So, all right, ready when you are, Leo.
Okay, count it down. 3, 2, 1. Huh.
So, they start off with, they're flying with Appa, and you know, going to the Southern Air Temple. So it's almost like a little family trip.
Yeah.
You know, with Sokka, Aang, and Katara, and like the beginning is funny because you know Aang sort of poking at Sokka to wake him up. It's like, you know, the excited little kid that wants to go to like Disneyland or is excited to go on his little trip, and he's like, you know, Sokka's like the grumpy dad that's sleeping, and he's just like, you know, like 5 more minutes, and he, you know, and then Katara's like the mom that's just like, you know, it's enough, boys, and she's also like, you know, don't get too excited of where we're going, because you know, just don't get too excited with her saying, you know, not giving up anything, but she's not, you know, she's been gone for 100 years, so you know, trying not to get his hopes up.
Mm-hmm. There's stuff.
Like the mom of the little group.
Yeah, there's stuff that Katara and Sokka know that there's a reason why they even said that they haven't seen an airbender in 100 years. So like,
right.
Aang doesn't know about that. So right, they're trying to protect him by not completely telling him the truth. Because I mean, right, they're still kids. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is one of the episodes that you get to see how much of a kid Aang is, because I mean he is just a kid, but he's he likes to play
Exactly.
and have fun. And you'll see all this like as it goes into the episode. Oh, and then right now we switch back to Zuko, and this is the part.
Yeah, this is where we
So,
meet Captain Zhao.
Commander Zhao.
Commander. Oh wait, yeah.
Yes, Commander.
Has he been promoted yet? That's.
Oh, you're right. It is Captain. That's right.
He hasn't been promoted yet.
Yeah. So, anyways, Commander Zhao, you'll see, or Captain Zhao, right now, you'll see is not a very pleasant person as when they meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And fun note is he's also voiced by Jason Isaac, who, if you guys will remember from the Harry Potter movies, Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, he played Malfoy's dad, or senior Malfoy.
And the character, actually, Commander Zhao, is based off of a character that he played in the Mel Gibson movie, The Patriot, which was he played a character that killed, raped, and pummeled. So very nasty guy.
Yeah, so definitely like paints a picture of Zhao being a bad part. Like he paints a picture of like the bad parts of the Fire Nation.
Right.
In a sense, you're like, you don't want to root for that guy.
Right. It's almost if you thought like Zuko was bad. Oh, yeah. This guy's worse.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy makes Zuko look like, a nice guy.
Yeah, definitely. So from that little encounter, we go back to the main three group, and I don't know. You have to give credit to the creators of the show, that they're showing like an airbending temple. Like that looks like a place I would want to visit.
When they show the airbending temple, it looks awesome. I mean, it's like the designing of the air temple is just, it's like one of those places you got to put on the bucket list to see.
But like Aang says, the only way to get there is on a sky bison, or to know how to airbend. It's nuts. It's a freaking temple secluded on mountains.
Yeah, and then when when they get there, they with Appa, he's flying up. He's like, "Oh, buddy, we're home." I mean, you can just tell the look in his eyes that he's just he's so excited. It's it's the kid looking forward to going home.
Yeah, he hasn't been home, and for him, it might seem like a little bit of time, but like he hasn't literally been home for 100 years.
Oh, and so after that, it jumps back into Commander Zhao and Zuko and everything, and you get a small glimpse to see of what the Fire Nation's plan is. So when he's looking, because he's looking at the map, and he sort of tells their plan is basically to take over, and they want to take over all the nations.
Yeah,
and that he's having this talk with Zuko, making it seem like that you never go home, that you're worthless, you're nothing, because the only way he'll go home is to find the Avatar. So basically, he's making this, and Zuko's just a kid. I mean, realistically, he's just a kid, so he's making this kid feel more sad, ruthless more than anything.
Yeah,
and because he's sent to find the Avatar, and he's like, you're never gonna find it.
Yeah,
you're never gonna go home.
Exactly.
If your dad wanted you home, you would be home.
Exactly. The Avatar, the mission to find the Avatar was always like a never-ending mission.
Right.
Until Zuko was determined, and I mean until it actually happened. So now
it's like saying to your kid, "Hey, you can come home when pigs fly."
Exactly. Or when you find like the Easter Bunny. If the little kids are listening to this, Santa Claus is real. The Easter Bunny's not real. It's like finding the Easter Bunny. So it's but once Zhao finds out that that's true, he takes advantage of it, like right away.
Oh, and then so this episode jumps back and forth between these characters, and so now we're back with Aang, and so he's finding, he's introducing Sokka and Katara into his, the things that he used to do as a kid, and so this air temple game or airbending game is just like, it's almost like Quidditch.
I was gonna say that, yeah. I was gonna say that.
Of course, he knocks Sokka through the little hole with the ball, but
yeah. Oh, it's so great. And then of course with like very happy scene, then you see like a sad scene because Sokka gets knocked out, and then he sees a Fire Nation helmet. And then what ends up happening is Sokka wants to tell him, but then Katara brushes it off and like brings down snow on top of everything. So it's like, oh, like look at this new move that I learned. So it's still Sokka wants to tell him, Katara wants to protect him.
Right. She's doing the motherly thing, and Sokka's like, you can't protect him forever. But he's just like, he's so happy. Why would, she doesn't want to give him bad news, but it's inevitable. And Sokka knows it. So he, just by seeing the Fire Nation helmet, you know that they were there.
Yeah. Oh, and then you get this little flashback with his teacher, Monk Gyatso. And you kind of get a sense that he was more than a teacher. He was, even though like Aang was 12 years old and Monk Gyatso looks like he's in his 70s.
Yeah, 80s.
Like he's Aang's teacher, but he's also like his best friend. Like he's teaching him good lessons, but then at the same time, like in the show, you're seeing them making like food, like fruit pies, and then you end up seeing them just like literally like, all right, help me with these fruit pies, and then you see them like literally throw these fruit pies and land on the other elder teachers.
Right. So, for being a monk and, supposedly like, a typical monk's supposed to be, I mean, you don't expect them to be funny and have fun, but you can tell where Aang got like his humor and his fun. All this fun was basically with Monk Gyatso.
Mm-hmm. That's a good teacher. Lets you know when you got to be serious, but also lets you have fun. It's that little bit of balance. Oh, so that's such a good scene. Yeah,
and then of course it's funny, but then it gets sad because reality hits that it's been 100 years, so he knows for a fact that Monk Gyatso wouldn't be alive.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little bit sad knowing that that he's gone.
Yeah, that's pretty mature of him. Like, and you would kind of guess that's like the monk training in him to kind of like, rationalize, kind of get what it is, get a little reality. Like, all right, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all the drawing of the background and all the architecture of the show, especially of this, is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. Like they have to open the door using airbending, and all the little things that go around and unlocks all but because of air.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It sucks. It makes you like, yeah, like literally only an airbender could get in there.
Right.
Without like destroying it, of course. So I think I know what this scene is coming up. Right? It's the
this is the part
that doors the statues, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this part's really cool. So it's like you see all the statues. Oh wait, no, but they don't show it all because it goes obviously just back to Zuko.
Yeah. So the reason why this episode is jumping back and forth, and this is like the first instance. Well, you saw it in the first episode, but this show, there's this reason why Zuko and Aang are pretty connected. Like it feels like they're back and forth. So you're seeing two stories, like a little connection of these two stories.
Right. Yeah.
Great. Which is great.
And now we go to the scene where it shows what's inside the door, and so it shows all these statues, which end up being like all the past avatars, from I guess from the beginning, with also, which means all of Aang's past lives.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really know exactly what it means, but he just senses like a connection to it. Katara is the one that actually explains it to him, like, hey, this is the Avatar cycle, and then these are your past lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So right, water, earth, fire, air. So it's this whole room is nuts because there's so many statues.
I would like to find out like all their names.
Oh my
like,
gosh. Yeah.
But then he stares at the last avatar, which is Avatar Roku.
The one before him, yeah.
Right. And he just doesn't know why, but he knows him. And it's because, well, obviously, we don't see it yet. You'll learn in the future episodes, but it's like, they're connected to him.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Sokka's like, oh, this is ridiculous. He's like, you're so weird. And he tells his sister, you don't really believe all this. It's like you don't believe this mumbo jumbo.
Uh-huh. Yeah, see, Sokka would be the one who doesn't believe in the Easter Bunny.
Right.
Tara would. And then you'll find out, like, oh, it's real. What? All right.
Oh,
so
and then here they introduce another character, which is he's actually one of my favorites.
Uh-huh. What's this character's name? Hector.
Momo.
Momo, yes.
I love Momo.
Yep.
And he's a lemur, right?
Yeah. I love how Sokka's first instinct is like food.
Yeah, because he's starving, and it's funny because Aang is a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And Sokka's like, all meat. So it is funny because he's trying to like outrun Aang, and Aang's just laughing at him running on the wall, throwing an air ball at him as he falls.
Yep. And he's just literally chasing after this lemur who will find.
And at this point, he's still like acting like a kid and having lots of fun.
Oh, yeah.
He's just super excited. He's like, oh, like, animal, let me go chase it.
Yep. And right, in the same way, Zuko is still a kid. He's 16, but he's stuck in this very adult situation.
Right.
In the army.
Oh, and this part's good. Yeah, because he's like, Zuko's got a short fuse too.
Yeah.
And so now he's trying to, he gets upset because you're taking my prize. You're taking the thing that's going to bring me back.
Yeah.
And I think that is the time where he challenges him.
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because so they're going back and forth. Obviously, he's saying that I'm taking this because you can't handle it. You can't handle this job to a kid.
Yep.
And Zuko's like, getting mad, and he's like getting ready to challenge him to an Agni Kai, which is the same reason, that he has his scar.
Yep. And
so you can tell that Zuko is not backing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Agni Kai, from what the show tells us, it's a fire duel. And I don't know if you noticed it, that little like I think Iroh tells him that you remember last time you dueled, and the camera just pans over and you just see his scar.
Right.
Before it changes scene.
And then going from a heated moment goes to a very sad moment. So Aang's going in following the lemur, and then the lemur leads him to this area where, he sees a bunch of like skeletons and a bunch of like Fire Nation outfits, and then surrounded by those or in the middle of those Fire Nation outfits is Monkey Otso.
Yeah, he has the same necklace. He recognizes it.
And this is the moment where we see it like his avatar state triggered. Yeah. And so you get the sense that it's triggered based off of emotion, fear,
and it's interesting that he's at this temple which lights up all the statues, and then you get images of those avatar statues lighting up all around the world. So without even knowing, Aang basically told the world that the avatar is alive.
Right. He's like, the avatar is still here.
Yeah.
And which, so it's like he's giving the world hope, but at the same time putting in,
yeah,
with hope is lots of enemies.
Yeah.
And then at this moment, he's going through into his avatar state, which basically throws Sokka back because Sokka was, close to him.
Yeah.
And he's just full of, you can just see him full of rage, which
rage, sadness
to this.
Mm-hmm. And it's sad. I mean, yeah, of course, he's like a little kid.
Yeah,
like sad and mad.
And he just realized that if Monkey Otto's here is dead and there's no one here, that basically his whole Air Nation, all the Airbenders is basically like a genocide.
Yeah, basically. So like if they would, they got to this temple, they probably got to all the other ones. So it's like, right, he's a little kid. It's even if you're an adult, it's hard to process that.
Right.
So yeah.
And now it jumps back again. Mm-hmm. It jumps back to the beginning of their Agni Kai, which,
cool.
You see that they're fit. Like, surprisingly, Zuko's buffed for being a 17-year-old. And then obviously Commander Zhao is
ripped.
Ripped too. But the fight scene here is so cool. And you see his that obviously he's a master, but then you see Zuko basically go off of just anger, and then eventually you have his uncle Iroh, sort of coaching him on the side.
Yeah, kind of like a boxing match.
Yeah, like a boxing match.
Yeah.
So and then he ends up taking Commander Zhao down, and then he regains his stance. So, just like landing a hard hit and seeing the opponent back up, gets his confidence.
Throwing him off balance.
And then, Iroh is in the back, like smiling, like, yes.
Yep. And he's able to knock him down. It's so cool. And this is where,
fight.
Yeah. And here you get the characters. Zuko as his character, his honor. He's supposed to do the last blow. And he doesn't. He just like shoots it on the side. He doesn't, he knows he won. He's got him on the ground. He won. But like on the flip side, Zhao doesn't really have honor. He's arrogant. So like he shoots a fireball with Zuko's back turn. And Iroh comes in and steps in. He's awesome.
Yeah, he did like a fireball, like a fire kick. And then Iroh just steps in, stops the fire, and grabs his foot and throws him down. And, for someone being older, and he's just basically, he puts him in his place because he's like, look, my son here, my teenager, or not his son, but, my nephew shows more honor by winning, while you just basically just are disrespectful and show no honor in losing.
Yeah.
So you can tell that he was proud. And
and then Iroh has his funny lines of like, Zuko's like, did you really mean that? Or Iroh says, thank you, and thank you for the tea. And then Zuko's like, did you really mean that for what you said back there? And he's like, yeah, Ginseng tea is my favorite. It's like, oh, like such a cute thing.
Yeah.
And then jumping back.
Yeah, jumping back. He goes to Aang and his avatar, to the state. So he finally is able to, I guess, relax. It's just like, seeing someone that you love so much die, and then just you need to yell. I mean, have this like, let it out, and that's exactly what happened when he went into the avatar stage. He let out his emotion, which ended up creating the avatar state.
Yeah, and having Sokka and Katara there, basically saying, "Hey, we're here for you. Like, we're your family now. So anything you need, we're here." So that definitely, helps a little bit to calm him down too, which is really sweet. It's the family coming together.
Yeah.
And then, well, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was saying Momo brings Sokka food, so now he's part of
Oh
the.
yeah. But just before that, because they're getting ready to get going, and so Sokka's all starving, so Momo brings them food, and that makes because Sokka was hangry the whole time.
Oh yeah.
But Aang, before they leave, he's looking at Roku, the statue, and he's like, "How am I supposed to talk to him?" Which gives you a little hint of something that's gonna happen because Katara says that you'll figure it out because
Exactly.
he's supposed to be able to talk to his past lives, so it gives you little hints of things to come.
Yeah, and this little last scene, the last couple of scenes are like pretty bittersweet. Like Aang mentions to Momo and Appa, like, "Hey, we're the last people from here, people and things, animals from here. Like we're the last of our kind, in a way."
Right.
And then, right as they're flying away, him and Momo are kind of just looking back at their home, which is just like with like sad like piano playing. It's like,
Right.
oh, it's like saying
Yeah.
bye, and you're like, why is this is a kid show? Why is it making me cry?
You know what? Even though it's a kid show, they do it in such a great way where it's like they pinpoint on realistic issues,
Mm-hmm.
but they line it up for all ages.
Yeah.
Really, like the whole wiping out a whole civilization of like the Air Nation. I mean, the whole genocide thing. I mean, that's putting it putting it out there, but not making it so serious, for like you're just gonna be completely depressed, but letting you know that it's obviously it's a sad moment, especially at the end where they're like, we're the last of their kind, because they are.
Yeah.
As far as we know, I mean, it's called the Last Airbender, but as
Yeah.
far as we know, we don't ever see another lemur or
Mm-hmm.
another appa, another sky bison.
Yeah. Or
So,
another airbender, pretty much. So
or
yeah.
yeah, obviously another airbender. Yeah, so they are the last of their kind.
Yeah. And the show,
So
yeah,
but they're all together at the same time. So they all have each other.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. The show really balances that serious moments with happy, fun moments, some
Yeah.
cool fighting moments. It's a great balance of like different things in the show that just keep the show going and making it fun. All
And
right. So
that was it for episode number 3.
yeah. So Hector, what was your favorite? Let's see. I'm gonna throw this out there. So like favorite bending moment and favorite non-bending moment.
My favorite. So I do like this because of when Aang goes into the Avatar state, but
Yeah.
because it's based off of emotion, and it's really like you're just like, oh, wow. But
Yeah.
I like the Agni Kai. I thought that was awesome. Just not the whole just the fight scene, but the whole how it ended. It shows that Zuko's character has a thing where honor he needs honor. Honor is what gives him it's part of him. He's like without honor, it's not you don't have like there's no meaning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So and that's what you sort of end up having a little bit more, even though he's like technically a villain, I guess right now,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to have some yeah wink wink. You have to have respect. You have to have respect for him because comparing him to Captain Zhao,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he showed honor and he showed he didn't give him the last blow. He's like, I won. I don't need to scar you like I have. But then turn around, he calls him Captain Zhao calls him weak
Yeah.
for not doing so.
Yep.
Not honorable. He calls him weak. So that I think that was like my favorite scene.
Nice. Yeah, it still calls back to like, like even nowadays, you still have men and guys are like, men don't cry, men don't hug, like you can't be weak, or it shows weakness. So even in like a show that came out in like 2005, it's like you can have respect and honor, and it does not have to even show weakness. You don't
Right.
have to be super aggressive like everything men people think men are
Like
supposed to.
machismo.
Yep,
Or
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Google that. Look that up, everybody. Jeez, man. Very interesting. Um, what was your favorite non-bending moment?
Non-bending moment. You know what? I liked it when they introduced Momo because everyone was getting ready to like thinking that he was like Fire Nation or something, or coming into like and
Uh-huh.
and then they wanted to chase him and eat him. I mean, I don't think he really wanted to eat them, but I think he was just hungry.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious.
That's a great scene. Let's see. I think my favorite bending moment. I think it was the sports when Aang was showing Sokka the I forget what was it called, airball. It wasn't called
Oh yeah,
airball. But just like it's so fun to see like them using air bending or them using like their bending skill to like create a sport, which
right.
um and I think my favorite non-bending was in the Agni Kai. And even though Uncle Iroh is a bender, that non-bending moment of him grabbing Zhao's foot and just literally flinging him back.
Right.
Even though like he looks like Iroh looks like he's like a little like chubby and stuff, but he still has some power. So just the fact that he like grabbed his foot and just like and threw him back.
Right, because
That was
so,
great.
so he's this character that you wouldn't expect, how like yeah, he's his uncle, but he has a presence, I mean,
Mhm.
he's not like ripped or buff like the other characters, but there's moments that he does because he's very calm. He
Yeah.
doesn't he doesn't need to show anything off, but there's moments where he comes out and he's just like he's a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And who do you give the award for like the best animal in this episode?
Momo, of
Yeah,
course.
Momo, of course.
What do you think is what we learned from the episode, or what they're trying to,
Ooh,
to teach or show?
what did we learn from this episode? Uh, so since it was kind of like two stories, right? Like you had
Right.
Aang at the Southern Air Temple, and then Zuko in like a port. I think on the Zuko side, to have honor in who you are, you want to be, and then also like have respect and honor even when you win, like when you win something.
Right. To be humble.
Be humble. Yeah, exactly. I think on that side we learned that. I'll let you take the Southern Air Temple. What did we learn from that? I don't know. It's so hard. So hard.
I think what we learned from that, or what I think maybe what at least Aang learned is, I mean, you have to confront the past.
Yeah.
So I think he deep down sort of had an idea. He's been gone for 100 years and had an idea that no one, he's been gone for 100 years, so no one's probably going to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was, sort of going into it with like blind, happy expectations, I guess. And
Yeah.
then it's sort of like, the reality hit him that it was a horrible reality, but he had to learn how to embrace it. I think. I
Yeah.
think that's what it comes. That I think that's what I think that they were showing in that episode. Because it's like you have to confront your past to be able to move forward. And even though his past is really hurtful, I mean, it's he's gonna keep that for a long time. For
Mm-hmm.
his memories will is what keeps the past alive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. I mean, Aang had I think Aang's character had a really hard time. Just had a really hard time.
Yeah.
Going.
Yeah.
This episode. And I agree with you on Zuko's side, because he learned basically with honor you don't need to embarrass, destroy your opponent to win.
Mm-hmm.
You can still have honor by not killing someone
Exactly. Or hurting them.
or hurting them. You can just stop them. You're like, you won, and then you have respect for your opponent. Walk out. Exactly. Which is not what Captain Zhoa had.
No.
It made him look like you're
just a loser.
Sore loser.
Exactly. Yeah, and with the Aang thing, it's you're never gonna like confronting your past, but if you can come to terms with it and learn from it, and of course in this situation, Aang, it's a very big and hard thing to like learn and deal with. But if you're able to do that and learn from it and move forward from it, you become like a better version of yourself, because you know more of yourself.
And Zuko learned if he has patience, food will come.
Yeah, no, Sokka.
Oh, Sokka. I don't know.
Yeah.
They call him Zuko.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their names are really close together anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true.
Sokka was just hangry the whole episode. Since he woke up grumpy and hungry, and then he was hungry the whole episode.
Yep. That's true. With patience, you will get fed. That's so true.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
That's the end of episode 3, and then stay tuned. Come back with us for episode 4. And Leo, want to tell them where they can follow us?
Follow us everywhere. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, the Little Big Bro Pod. That's gonna be the handle. It's gonna be like down here, over there probably. And the same with audio. Like if you want to listen to us on Spotify, we'll be there. On Apple Podcasts, we'll be there. And if you want to watch our pretty faces, find us on YouTube. And I think I'll put us on Facebook too. So all Little Big Bro Pod or podcast, you'll find us.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. And we'll stay tuned, and we'll catch up with you guys on episode 4.
Woo! See you later.
Bye.